Hey guys, what's up? Murphy's Indians here, and today I'm coming out with my review of The World Is Not Enough, the third Pierce Brosnan film in the James Bond series, and the final Bond film of the 20th century, made in 1999, directed by Michael Apted. Um, an oil tycoon is murdered in MI6, and Bond is sent to protect his daughter, Electra. Renard, who has a bullet lodged in his brain from a previous agent, is secretly planning the destruction of a pipeline. Bond gains hand from a research scientist, Dr. Christmas Jones, who witnesses the action, which happens when Bond meets up with Renard. But Bond is suspicious of Electra, especially when Bond's boss M goes missing. Bond must work quickly to prevent Renard from destroying Europe. Alright, so that's the basic summary of The World Is Not Enough and the plot. So let's get into the cast and my general thoughts on the cast of this film. So Pierce Brosnan returns to the role of James Bond once again, and I'd say he's really great in this film. Definitely, I'd say, along with GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies, he's great as always. I always think, I never understand the dislike for Brosnan's take on Bond. I think he's always just so comfortable in the role. I don't think he really gave a bad performance as James Bond, if I'm being honest with you. He's cool in all the right scenes. He can be, in every scene that he needs to show the right emotion, he does it. It's just he's incredible, and I think one of the best Bonds. I think he definitely gets too much hate. I think he's a very good James Bond. And we've got Electra King, who they do a curveball where basically we think she's the Bond girl of the film, but she actually becomes the villain. And you know what? It is kind of predictable, but I still like Electra King. I mean, and I will admit, if she wasn't the first female villain in the series, I think she may have been forgotten slightly. But I still think she's a good villain. I really do like the fact that she was a good first female villain. She's not like one of my favourite villains of all time, but I do think she is a good villain. Definitely different to a lot of the other villains in the Bond films, because a lot of them are usually just kind of middle-aged kind of white men, you know what I mean? So it was kind of good. They kind of changed it up a bit, which I think was great. And you've got Christmas Jones, played by Denise Richards, and I'll start by saying the actual idea of this character is fine. However, the casting choice is just is awful. I'm sorry. I think Denise Richards just is not suited in this role, and she's actually so bad. It's actually quite entertaining to kind of watch, personally. But I mean, she is definitely one of the worst Bond girls of all time. I wouldn't say she is the worst, because at least the character is, useful in the plot. She actually does stuff that helps Bond in the film, so she at least has a purpose in the film, unlike certain Bond girls where they don't actually do anything. So yeah, I think the idea of the Christmas Jones character could have been done well if played by a good actress, but unfortunately Denise Richards just can't give it here. And obviously we've got the main villain, well, not the main villain, one of the main villains. I'd say he's more of a henchman, actually. Renard, played by Robert Carlyle. And I think Robert Carlyle is actually very good in this role. I think he's just a very good actor in general. He's definitely one that, for a while, I think, after The World Is Not Enough, for quite a bit, the Bond films needed a henchman, because for a while he was probably the last great henchman, mainly because a lot of the other Bond films didn't really have any henchmen in them. So but he was, Bernard, I think Renard is a great henchman. The thing with the bullet, I'm kind of mixed now. Like, I think the premise behind it is cool, but it's kind of ridiculous, like how that would actually not kill him. But to be fair, the James Bond films have done a lot of over the top stuff, like a man with metal teeth, and later on in the series, in the next film, they do even more silly stuff. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not that ridiculous, but it is a bit kind of, it's very unrealistic. But welcome to Bond, everyone. We see Robbie Coltrane returns. Zukovsky is back, returning from, last time we saw him was in GoldenEye. I really like the character, and I think he's even better in The World Is Not Enough. We actually get to see more of Zukovsky, we get to know him more. I really like it. He becomes an ally of Bond, which I think is really cool, because Robbie Coltrane is just one of those actors who I really enjoy watching. He's pretty much great in everything I've seen, whether it be Harry Potter as Hagrid, or even in a couple of episodes of Blackadder he's been in. He's been very good in those as well. And he's great in it as Zukovsky as well. A really likable character, and he helps out Bond in the film, which I think is actually pretty cool as well. Definitely one of the better Bond allies, I think. And we've got Bullion, played by musician Goldie. I don't really know much of Goldie's music, so I can't really comment on his stuff. I mean, from the sound, from what it seems like, I don't think it'd be my type of music, but and he's all right. I mean, he doesn't really have loads of stuff to do, but he's fine in the role, I guess. Not much I can really say, really. M, played by Judi Dench. She's great. I like that they gave her more of a role in this film. I do like it when the MI6 regulars get more involvement in the film. Like, for example, I mentioned this before, like Q in License to Kill had a much bigger role, and M in this one has a really big role, and she would go on to have a big role as well in Skyfall also. So I really like that they kind of, because Judi Dench is a tremendous actress, and I think they've, that she in this film she gets to showcase more of her talent by being in it more. So I really like that. Sadly, this is the last we see of Desmond Llewellyn as Q. It's genuinely a really sad scene. I mean, he was retiring from the role in the film, but he sadly died when not long after the film was released, and it was really sad. But yeah, he's great once again. It's a really nice scene between him and Bond, and obviously we get his replacement, a young protege, R, played by John Cleese. I mean, he seems like in this film he's fine. He's a bit of comic relief, but I don't hate John Cleese's, because he would go on to be Q in the next film. I really didn't hate it. Like, I thought it had potential if they gave him more time, but we never really got it in the end. But anyway, yeah, he's R is a fine character, I guess. And also we have Moneypenny as well. She's great once again. I think Samantha Bond gets really underlooked as Miss Moneypenny. Despite not being in the film that much, she does, she does well with what she gets anyway. And now onto the score of the film. David Arnold returns to do the score for this film once again, and it's a really good one. I think it's, again, one of the better ones in the series. I mean, in general, a lot of them, like pretty much all the James Bond scores are, I think, for the most part, very good. Standouts for me are his version of the Bond theme in the Thames Chase. I think it's called Your Time Is Up or something like that. It's a very, very, loud and, powerful version of the Bond theme, and I really like that. And the title song itself, I'm not sure if David Arnold actually helped write the song, I can't remember. But the song in general is The World Is Not Enough by Garbage. I do think is a very good song, and one of my favourite Bond themes, actually. I think it gets very underlooked. I think it's actually a very good score, a good song, I should say. So some of the best scenes, I'd say, in the film are the opening title sequence. I think it's the best opening title sequence of any of the James Bond films. Tremendous action, it starts off in the bank in Bilbao. That's a nice little scene. Continues, and the Thames water chase, I should say. A really fun scene is just, the score, as I said, used with David Arnold with the Bond theme. It's used so well. The action is just great, and it transitions nicely into the title song as well. So I definitely say the opening title sequence is maybe the best scene in the film. I'd have to really think about that. The final scene with Q is really nice as well. Very sad as well, watching it, but so well done. The ski chase as well in Azerbaijan, I think is a good. I believe it's in Azerbaijan. Ski chase scene. A lot of ski chase in Bond films, but they're usually done very well for the most part. Have the whole process of getting M out of jail and being because she's been captured by Elektra. I really like that, and just in general, like the whole bit of some of the action that takes place, and the submarine fight between where Bond fights Renard. It's some really tense, suspenseful stuff in that sequence as well. So overall, what are my thoughts on The World Is Not Enough? I think it's one of the most underrated films in the series, really. Some great scenes, great moments, a solid cast for the most part. And yeah, a film I don't really understand why it gets so much hate. It's a film that I personally really enjoy, and I think it kind of, great action, more use of M, which I think is always good, and yeah, just in general, a really good film. So I definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it, because I know some people are probably put off because of the criticism it gets. But I genuinely think it's a good film. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. My next review will be Die Another Day from 2002. Give the video a like, comment below, subscribe to my main channel, follow me on Twitter and Ask.fm. And once again, thanks for watching, guys.